Might as well talk about the Trump movie.
So I mentioned this last night, but and I still like there's still people that are saying like that there's like I guess on certain platforms, but the movie is titled The Apprentice. That has taken the name from the reality TV show, the hit reality TV show that Trump had, which was started out as The Apprentice, then morphed into the Celebrity Apprentice, one of the most successful TV shows in its day. It was huge, it was massive, and now you can't watch The Apprentice anywhere, not on any major streaming platforms anyway. You also can't purchase it anywhere on any major streaming platforms, so you can't go to Netflix or Amazon Prime or Apple TV or any of the major ones. People are saying that it's available on something like Tubi. I don't think it's available on Tubi anymore. I think it was available on Tubi, but it's no longer available on Tubi. And I think there's a specific reason as to why The Apprentice is not available now. Have you seen The Apprentice? Did you watch it back in the day?
I watched a little bit here and there. I was not too into it. I thought it was fucking. I thought it was like kind of cringe and dumb at the time. I was not into it. But like I watched it. It was a massive cultural like phenomenon at the time.
It was huge. It was huge. I didn't the Apprentice. I really wasn't into that one when it was. But when they brought the Celebrity Apprentice into the equation, and there was people that you actually knew, and then Trump was tasking them with stuff, that was far more interesting to me. You can't watch those nowadays because if you actually do watch the Apprentice or the Celebrity Apprentice, it makes Trump look really fucking good. And all of these celebrities basically are just worshiping him and treating him with respect and talking about how much they respect him and how much they respect his business, sense and all of that. You can't find it anywhere. So now we've got a movie coming out about the younger years of Donald Trump, and it's called The Apprentice. And it's starring Sebastian Stan. And now, Ryan, you can take it away. Just wanted to say all of that.
This is what we're talking about right now. We knew this movie was coming out, and like you said, Jeremy, it's called The Apprentice. This is not supposed to be about Donald Trump's political career or his presidency or anything like that. This is from before. This is supposed to tell the story of how Donald Trump became to be the Trump that everybody knew back in the 80s and 90s, how he kind of grew up in the business world and things like that. But of course, they're taking a lot of liberties, and they're not exactly portraying Donald Trump in the best light. Crazy. Who could have thought that was possibly the case? But the thing that's generating the most buzz is this. Donald Trump movie The Apprentice ignites controversy at Cannes over the rape scene. Because, you have to include a scene there of this thing that allegedly happened, that was alleged one time and then was recanted during a really messy divorce proceedings, that Donald Trump raping his wife. And that's what's in this movie. It proved to be the most disturbing scene in a movie chock full of unflattering sequences about Donald Trump. In Ali Abbasi's The Apprentice, Trump, played by Sebastian Stan, violently throws his then wife Ivana to the ground and proceeds to have non-consensual sex with her. We're not going to get too into those details, but there were a lot of people at the film festival that were really uncomfortable that it was even included in the movie, period. Didn't feel comfortable watching it, thought it was weird that you would put something like that out there. And of course, the directors, we felt it was very important to include this in the story when nobody else really thought it was that important. And within hours of the premiere, Trump campaign is already kind of slammed back. Trump campaign threatens lawsuit against biopic in The Apprentice. This garbage is pure fiction. Now, apparently at the beginning of the movie, they do say, hey, some things, this is based on a true story, but some things have been changed. Some names have been changed. Some sequences have been changed for dramatic effect. So we'll see if any lawsuit would actually have legs based off of that. But coming right up towards the election, we're 6 months away at this point. Is it really any surprise that we're having a Donald Trump basically hit piece movie during election season?
Yeah, this is absolutely insane. Ivana Trump is no longer here. She passed away, I want to say like a year or two ago. And so she's not here to comment on it. And at the end of the day, this is all specifically just to tarnish his name further and further, and it's going to have the reverse effect. Just like everything else they've done to this man has had the reverse effect, this is going to have a reverse effect. People are going to look at this going, she's dead, and you're putting this in there clearly with an agenda in mind, and I think it's going to have massive backlash. I think that is going to have the reverse effect of everything they're hoping it will have, and rightfully so. Fuck these people. Fuck Sebastian Stan and anybody else involved with this this bullshit biopic of sorts that they want to call it. But I mean, everybody knew exactly what this was all about. This was never meant to tell the story of, in my opinion, the most famous human being on the planet. This was never meant to do anything other than to tarnish his name and try to tarnish his legacy, and that's exactly what they're trying to do. And it's going to backfire on them once again. They hate this man's guts. Hollywood despises him, and they'll do anything they can. The timing, obviously, to bring this movie out during the election and everything. It's one of the, like, I feel like they probably thought that. And again, this is where I'll get into more of the political side of it. But I feel like they thought with this movie releasing, what's the release date on this movie?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure global release. So
okay.
It can, like at the film festival, sometimes things don't come out for months and months after that. So,
okay. So I think that they were anticipating, much like with House of Cards. Remember how House of Cards went with like the whole, female president bullshit, and they were hoping that would kind of line up with like Hillary's taking over as president. They were hoping that Trump would probably be found guilty and be in jail at this point in time based on all the legal bullshit that was going on. And that would have just added so much to this. Like, ooh, look what we have. He's in jail. And we've got a biopic showing how horrible of a person he was in all reality. And none of that's going to happen. And it's all going to backfire on them. That's what I think their anticipation was.
Yeah. And I do think that the production of this movie started before Ivana died. So I don't know if that necessarily, like her, I don't know if that had anything to do with the depiction. Apparently, according to reports, there was a lot of internal like back and forth over whether that should be included or shouldn't be included. But I do think that this paragraph is really fucking funny. I want to see this scene of it because they probably think it makes him look like an asshole. I think it's funny. The rape scene isn't the only one Trump may find objectionable. The 2024 presidential candidate is also depicting popping amphetamine pills, getting liposuction, and having surgery to remove his bald spot. Though Cohn molds him from a nobody into a mogul, Trump does not show loyalty to his mentor when he's dying of AIDS. The notorious germaphobe had his house fumigated by staff after Cohn leaves in one scene. I actually think that one could happen. It would be really fucking funny to see. So like this guy that, he knows he's sick and dying of AIDS, and Trump, shakes his hand, immediately walks to the door. He like gets hand sanitizer. It's like, clean this fucking place up. I do think that would be pretty funny.
Oh man, that's awesome.